Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. The Silver Covenant didn't form by accident. It was the result of a breaking point within High Elven society. In my last video, we explored the updated High Elven NPC models and the lore behind the Silverian Dreamers in Silverglade Refuge, so today we're narrowing that focus to the Silver Covenant themselves, why they were created, what forced them to break away from their kin, and what purpose they were truly meant to serve. With midnight drawing closer, the Silver Covenant is once again coming into focus. Exploring their origins reveals not just who they are, but why their role still matters as the story moves forward. And to understand the Silver Covenant, we first have to understand Vereesa Windrunner. Vereesa Windrunner grew up in a world that never really knew peace. War was constant, and expectations were high, especially with sisters like Alleria and Sylvanas. While Sylvanas rose through the ranks to become Ranger General of Silvermoon, Vereesa followed a quieter but no less demanding path. After the Second War, Alleria departed Azeroth to continue the fight against the Orcish Horde on Draenor, leaving her son behind in Vereesa's care. With her sister gone and war still casting its shadow, Vereesa took on the quiet burden of raising Arator, learning early what it meant to carry responsibility in a world that rarely offered peace.
By Muritan's beard!
There is no shelter from my fury.
This way!
Later, she became involved in major events told in the novel The Day of the Dragon. She fought alongside Rhonin during the conflict with Deathwing, taking part in the destruction of the demon soul and the liberation of the Dragon Queen. That partnership eventually turned into marriage, and they had twin sons together. The Silver Covenant is formed after the events of Night of the Dragon, and this is important. In terms of the timeline, the novel is set after the Burning Crusade, but before the start of Wrath of the Lich King. In this story, Vereesa is acting independently.
You'll pay for what you've done, fiend!
Not very intelligent, are you?
She is hunting her cousin, Zendarin Windrunner, a Blood Elf who has turned to fell magic, and a clear example of the path the majority of her people fell into after the Sunwell's destruction. Her cousin isn't just another enemy, he tried to abduct her sons. In this story, Vereesa clearly demonstrates her skill and experience as a Farstrider. She fights Dragonspawn, Draconids, and Skardan, works alongside dwarves, and survives multiple encounters. She even saves her friends. In this book, the demon soul was recreated by Sinestra, Deathwing's prime consort, using fragments of the original artifact. This recreation was completely immune to all magic originating from Azeroth, rendering conventional spells utterly ineffective against it. During Vereesa's confrontation with Zendarin, she abandons distance and forces the fight into close quarters. In the chaos of the struggle, she turns his staff, an artifact forged in Outland and untouched by Azeroth's magic, against the demon soul itself. That single, decisive act finally shatters the artifact. Vereesa survives only because Kalec intervenes at the last moment, pulling her away before the released energies can consume her. Zendarin is torn apart by the forces unleashed in the process. For Vereesa, These events reaffirm her identity as a High Elf and deepen the divide between her and the path the Blood Elves had chosen. After these events, the story moves back to Dalaran. It's important to note that at this point, Kirin Tor was fighting on two fronts, against Malygos and against the Lich King, both in Northrend. Following the Third War, the city was rebuilt, and the Kirin Tor declared it neutral. During this period, the Sunreavers were invited to join the ranks of the Kirin Tor, reinforcing that stance as the city faced multiple threats at the same time. Their leader, Aethas Sunreaver, already held a seat on the Council of Six. Under Rhonin's leadership, it became a shared base for both the Alliance and the Horde. High Elves had lived there for generations, many of them loyal to the Alliance, and were now being asked to share their home not only with Orcs, but also with Blood Elves who had aligned themselves with the Horde. Vereesa viewed the Horde differently. Orcs had killed members of her family during the Second War, and years later her own Blood Elf cousin tried to abduct her sons. Those experiences probably shaped how she saw both the Horde and the Blood Elves. In response, Vereesa brings together the High Elves who remain loyal to the Alliance and establishes the Silver Covenant.
We stand together.
Based in the Silver Enclave, the group operates as an Alliance faction within the city. They openly oppose the Sunreavers, representing those High Elves who refuse to follow the Blood Elf path. Their purpose is to serve as a military counterweight, should the Horde attempt to seize control of the city. During the war against the Lich King, the Silver Covenant supports the Alliance across multiple fronts in Northrend. Through this continued service, they establish themselves as a distinct Alliance-aligned force, giving the remaining High Elves a clear military and political presence beyond Dalaran. And with that history in mind, we return to Silverglade Refuge, where the Silver Covenant now stands. This isn't just another Alliance outpost. The Silver Covenant story runs through every major conflict of modern Azeroth, even when they're not in the spotlight. Led by Vereesa Windrunner, they've carved out an identity built on principle, even if it meant being cut off from their own people. They represent loyalty, a bright spark of High Elven heritage kept alive, not in Silvermoon, but in the heart of the Alliance. I wish you all the best on your adventures in Azeroth and beyond. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.